think, you know what? If we want to cut it at the end, screw it. What's our opinions here on the Buffalo Bills? And I'm going to keep that very broad. I'm not going to ask any other questions on top of that. I want to know general opinions about the Buffalo Bills this week, or for the season, but including this week, I should say.
Yeah, I mean the offensive coordinator just got fired, right?
Yep.
And they're knocking on the Giants' door for Dable back. That's for sure.
I think they bounce back against the Jets. They're not a bad team, but they're not a consistent team, and I don't think that's going to change until they start what we've been talking about for a couple of seasons now, balancing it out with the run game. I mean, Cook got sat the whole first quarter. He ended up rushing for 100 yards, against a good Denver defense. At least the last 3 weeks they've been good. You got to have balance in that offense. Josh can make plays, but he can't just be out there being He-Man. We've highlighted it of times. Like when he needs to be it, fourth quarter, you need a drive. Okay, do the things you do, but you don't need to be trying to do that stuff in the second quarter and the first quarter. And turnovers have plagued him, and he has led the league. I thought I saw a post today. He's led the league in interceptions all 6 of his years. It's the turnover machine. It hurts a team. It hurts a team, and I don't think they'll ever get over the hump of making it to the Super Bowl unless there's balance in the offense.
Yeah, I think that
definitely.
Okay.
Good.
I just think that. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead. Nope, you go.
Yeah, we're going back and forth.
That's why we stay in order, baby. That's why we stay in order.
Right. But I will say this: the way you stuttered your words right there, Charlie. I think that's how I talk about the Bills. And every single drive that I watch them play, I think every single time I watch them play, I'm just like, what in the hell is going on? And me personally, I think it's a big coaching issue and upper level management issue. I think that there's a bad scheme there. I think that they have coaching issues, and I'm not saying that it's Sean McDermott. I'm not saying that specifically their offensive coordinator that is fired. I'm not saying specifically anybody. I'm not sure. I'm not in that building, but there is some type of issue up there that is not getting addressed, and there's some type of culture issue that's not getting addressed, and they have to fix that, or they're not going to be a good football team, and that's just how it is. They're not going to be a good football team as long as they keep playing the way they are and keep having the things going on that they are. And again, I said it earlier. I think they're pretty much Cowboys again. I think they're pretty much Cowboys. That was the worst game I ever watched in my life. The amount of talent and how good of a team that team should have been and how they played last night, that's one of the worst performances I've ever seen last night. I mean, it was bad. So they got to fix something, and they got to fix it now.
I just think that everything that we heard during the offseason with the coach, the defensive coordinator stepping away, all the problems that that the wide receiver, his name is escaping
Diggs.
Stephon Diggs had with what was going on and the beef on the sidelines and everything. I mean, like now where we're standing at now, all of that other stuff made sense. Is because it literally was happening last year, but success kind of like shut that down until the success was over. And then that was it. It's like it boiled over. And then everybody's like, nah, what are you talking about? Nothing to see here. Well, now it's week 11, and they already fired the offensive coordinator. The defensive coordinator retired at the beginning of the season. You know, there was that Stephon Diggs smoke, you know, and they just have not been performing to the capabilities that we think the Bills are capable of playing at. Also, just doing some things, you know, with the signing of the draft picks, the signing of the free agents, letting guys go, picking guys up. I don't know. It could be a multitude of things, you know, but ever since the bowl left, it just seemed like it's coaching. It just seems like it's the coaching staff, you know.
I think Josh Allen, the two superstars on that offense, they got to be taking a little bit more responsibility on their shoulders. And I think Josh Allen, I think you might be onto something there, Sam, because when I think about it and I look at it with the mistakes, there's nobody. You know, Josh Allen is not getting coached after he's doing that. He's going and sitting down. He's like, man, I messed up again. And there's nobody, you know, there's no consequence to his action. So he's just being, quote unquote, the gunslinger out there. And somebody is signing off on that game after game with no repercussions. Like there's no, all right, you're going to sit down because you're costing us a game, or you're not, we're giving you too much reign of the offense. And I think that's kind of what happened with Ken Dorsey. Is it was kind of a fanboy situation where, man, this kid's got this cannon. He can just do all this stuff. He can run too. I'm just going to let him kind of call the plays. And some players aren't good with all that responsibility. And I think that's kind of a little bit of a situation. So I think a new coordinator, a new boss, quote unquote, coming in has the ability to possibly start the slate clean and kind of rein Josh back in and tell him, look, this is what I want you to do, and I don't want you to break from my system. Let's run this system. Let's execute this system. Let's take out a little bit of this improvising and this, just a little bit of it.
Like it.
Coach.
Anything, Brady?
No, I was gonna say with Josh Allen, it's almost like he's regressed back to that like his rookie year where everyone's like, oh man, this guy's a bust. Why was he taken in the top 10?
Wyoming.
Right. And then out of nowhere, you can say it was, Dable. You can say it was just, him getting utilized properly. He became NFL your MVP caliber and Super Bowl caliber. And then now it's kind of back to what's going on here. He's throwing a lot of interceptions. He's not using his feet like he was. I mean, there was a point where we were saying, hey, Josh Allen, stop running the ball. You're doing too much. You're going to get yourself hurt. Now we're like, Josh Allen, what are you doing? Are you going to go get that easy first down? Like, you're going to throw it away. Like, he's all over the place now, and it's not consistent with what was actually working for him. I understand maybe trying to protect him and take him back and have him take a step back from being overly aggressive, but it's not working. You might need to go back to letting him be overly aggressive.
Not the aggressive part, just the improvisation. Just because you've made that throw before, thinking twice before making it every single time, just because you've had success before. You live by the sword, you die by the sword to a degree, but this is a team game too. And when you start hurting your team more than you're helping your team, then you need to take a look in the mirror personally and be like, all right, what can I do better? Not point the finger, not be like, oh shucks, I did it again. Yeah, that sucks. Just get me the ball again. Let me do it. I'll make something happen. It's not fair to the rest of your teammates who are grinding and held to a higher standard of accountability. That's why I brought the James Cook situation into it. Got out the whole quarter for getting stripped of the ball. And it was, that kind of accountability to another man's accountability, which doesn't seem to be the same when you're not even getting spoken to on the sideline for making some bonehead reads and forcing some passes. So you got to be consistent when you're talking about a 12-man team. Josh Allen may be your superstar, yes, but I treat everybody the same. There are some degrees to where you can give a little bit more wiggle room to players, but it be so night and day to where you can see it on the field. And then Stephon Diggs, it's tough because you got a lot of passion and emotion. But you got to rein that in too, because some of the stuff you're doing and talking about, even on the field, that's not helping the whole team either. You're creating dissension within certain pockets of the team, possibly. It's not a team player either. So you got to, it might be the coaching staff. It might be something in the water, like Sam had hinted, that goes to the top organizationally. And maybe that's why Schoen and Dable split down. Who knows?
See, I really love that take too, because I think that Stephon Diggs and Josh Allen, when they make mistakes, should be, really taking control of that.
They're the
and
leaders.
making sure they're the leaders. They're supposed to take that and they're supposed to say, I messed up and I did this. The James Cook situation, I actually wanted to come back on that. I'm glad you really brought that up. I did not like that coaching decision there. And the only reason I didn't like it is because second year back, first year starting, confidence, doing great.
Second career fumble.
Yeah. I don't know about y'all. If I'm a coach and I see that, my next play is going to be James Cook right back in that backfield, and I'm going to give him the ball. I don't care if it's a pass. I don't care if it's a hand on. I don't care what it is. I'm going to give it to him, and I'm going to say, hey, I believe in you. You've been doing great. You made a mistake, but I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, because confidence matters. Confidence matters.
Yeah, and I thought that was a horrible call. But then on the other side, like you said, like that's a horrible way to do it because you sit James Cook after he makes second fumble of his career, but then Josh Allen has all these turnovers. Stephon Diggs had
3.
For a fact, I saw. Yeah, I know for a fact I saw 2 drops. I'd say 3 drops, and then you just keep like. There's got to be some consistency there, man. Like I get that there's players that you give extra chances to. There's players you don't, but there's got to be some type of consistency there because I know for a fact from being in a locker room, whether it's baseball, football, basketball, whatever it is, that doesn't look good. And James Cook is like, what the hell? Like, what the hell is going
accountability.
on?
Accountability.
I don't like that.
Accountability.
Yeah, just don't like that. 100% agree.
You can't hold some accountable and others not accountable. That's just not the way a team works. And I mean, you could see that that's why, potentially there could be all these other things because the coaching staff is just not reining things in the way it should be ringing it in.
It speaks to the culture.
I mean, bro, you're going to let that run rampant. You're going to let that run rampant. But hey, man, take a look at the Giants. You see what losing does to you. So, everybody's going at it.
That's why I brought Diggs into the fact too, because he goes and complains to get the ball. Like that happens. We've seen that with plenty of wide receivers over the years. It does happen.
A whole nother level with him.
Yeah, that as a coaching staff, you shouldn't let that happen either. Like, dude, chill out. We feature you in the offense too. It's like I said, there's got to be.
I mean, he did the same thing. He did the same thing with the Minnesota Vikings, and then they let him go to Buffalo, and everyone's like, "Oh my God, Minnesota's going to be, that's the dumbest thing they've ever done," But they drafted Justin Jefferson, and it's a better replacement the way it's been played out.
Yeah. And AJ Brown did the same thing with the Eagles, but that worked out. AJ Brown said something. He said something publicly. He said he wanted the ball, but he didn't make it a huge deal. He didn't start posting stuff on Twitter. He didn't do all this extra crap. He just said he wanted the ball, and they got him the ball. And look how they're playing now. AJ Brown just had one of the most historical 6 weeks, actually probably the most historical 6 weeks any wide receiver in the NFL. And Stephon Diggs is just I just think that whole team is just a bunch of drama and a bunch of bad culture issues, and that's just how I feel about him.
With AJ Brown though, kind of to the detriment of Devonta Smith too. And again, numbers are numbers. let's this is a team sport, and you're looking to win a team goal, which is the Super Bowl, where everybody gets a ring. Put the numbers aside and figure out the best way to win games. This isn't your rookie year. You're not buying for contracts when you talk about AJ Brown, you're talking about Stephon Diggs. You're gonna get paid. You've gotten paid. Like, I know you want the shine. Of course, everybody does. But is it the best moves for the team? There are other capable weapons.
And if it's the best move for the team for that player to get touches, then do it. It's like Devontae Adams on the Raiders.
Yes.
He has to get touches for them to be even a decent team. That's one thing. But if you don't need that, then I 100% agree.
Well, the forcing of the feeding is where it seems like it becomes problematic because everybody else on the team's watching this go down like, all right, you want me to just stop running routes and kind of just like let you guys play ball? You want me to be I'm just going to be running streaks all,
It's like NBA.
Same thing with.
It's
with
hard,
James
man. That team's so good at running the ball. You come from another team, they don't have that problem. A lot of people can't run the ball. A lot of teams don't run the ball. AJ Brown wouldn't be happy on Cincinnati either, and they don't even run the ball. They'd be throwing to Chase Brown, man. What do you mean? They'd be throwing to Chase. I
was about to say, who the fuck is Chase Brown?
Chase Brown's the running back out of Illinois. No, but they would.
He's on IR, by the way, Eddie. So that might be why you haven't seen him for a little bit.
Forever, because he is 5'9".
But on the 2 scoring drives that the Bills had, it was run dominated.
Jamar Chase.
Run dominated. They fed Latavius Murray one drive, and then it was Cook the next drive. And
every time they threw the ball,
allowed for playmaking to happen for Buffalo without turning the ball over. Yeah. The best 2 drives of the game for Buffalo. were predicated off the run.
And in Buffalo's defense, I mean, even when they had the ball, they didn't run the ball. When did they run the ball?
I mean, they used the quarterback. I mean, that's where I was going with my argument of Josh Allen playing to his strengths. This year so far, he has 250 rushing yards. The previous 2 years for the season, he had over like 750. So you're telling me he's going to get another 500 over the next 7 games?
No.
6 games, 7 games here. He's going to get
That's
another
a lot.
500.
That's a big ask.
That's a big number.
And then be ready for the playoffs? That's an ask.
Yeah. So they're not playing him to his strengths. And the past 2 seasons is when you're like, oh man, Buffalo's going to win the Super Bowl. And now we're like, yo, what is this Buffalo team?
Yeah.
Not Super Bowl bound.
They look borderline, playoff worthy at this point in the season. You can see the talent there, and it's like, well, yeah, they should be in the playoffs, but the way they're playing and executing on a week-to-week basis is just, you don't know what you're going to get. We talked about it when we were doing the game. You don't know what Buffalo team you're going to get. And it's like that for a lot of teams, but it shouldn't be like that for a team like them who have been to the postseason. What are they on a three-year streak of winning the division? Like you've put together success, so you should be building off of that success. And it looks like it's heading backwards, and it's not because your team's aging and getting less
Especially
talented.
that quarterback.
They're getting more talented, and they're still, some of them barely getting into their prime. You talk about Josh Allen, so it's like you should be getting better, but they're not.
100%.
And I think it's internal because, Eddie highlighted Leslie Frazier leaving the coordinator, and, you fire your OC mid-season. That's not normal, That's Vegas Raiders type of territory. So, it's not going right somewhere.
Very true.
They didn't even get arrested either.
Nope.
All righty, gentlemen. Does that wrap it up there for week 11?
Yes, sir.
Let's go.
Running routes, baby.
Thanks, everybody, for listening in.
Deuce.
See you next week.